Let's learn about dilations. A dilation is a transformation that changes size but not shape. With a dilation, the angles stay the same, but the side lengths change by the same scale. It's another type of transformation that doesn't make shapes congruent. Remember, with transformations, the preimage is the original shape, and the image is the shape after a transformation. We use prime points like A with an apostrophe for all of the image points, and regular letters for the preimage. A dilation creates similar figures. These are the same shape, but not the same size. The preimage is the blue shape, and it gets bigger as we go to the red shape that's the image. You can see that the image shape has A prime as one of its points. The scale factor tells how much a figure grows or shrinks. We use the letter K to show the scale factor. An enlargement is when the image gets bigger. As you can see from my blue preimage to my red image, the shape has grown. This occurs when k is greater than 1. So numbers like 3, 5, 10 are all greater than 1, so they would be an enlargement. A reduction is when the image gets smaller. So my blue shape goes and shrinks to be my red shape. This occurs when k is less than 1. So things like 1/2, 3/4, or even something like 9/10, as long as it's less than 1. Now let's look at dilations on a coordinate plane. This is going to have a rule just like our transformations before. If the dilation is centered at the origin, that's the point 0, 0, and uses the scale factor k, then our rule is that we're going to use the capital letter D with a subscript of K. Sometimes you'll also see it with O for origin. Then our mapping formula is going to be that XY maps to KX or KY. We just multiply. Now let's try some examples. We're going to do 3 together, then I want you to try 2 all on your own. So let's look at the first example. The point A at 2, 4 has a scale factor of k equals 2. The first thing we want to do is decide, is this a reduction or an enlargement? Well, 2 is greater than 1, so it's going to be an enlargement. Now let's find our image point, A prime. We start out by multiplying each coordinate by k. So k times 2 and k times 4. Our scale factor is k, so that's 2 times 2 and 2 times 4, which gives us our image point of A prime at 4, 8. Now, let's look at the next question. Point B is the point 3, 5, and we have a scale factor of 2/3. First thing we want to know is it a reduction or an enlargement? Is 2/3 less than 1 or greater than 1? It's less than 1, so this is a reduction. So now let's find B prime. So I'm going to take both coordinates of my ordered pair and multiply them by k. So k times 3 and k times 5. Well, k here, or my scale factor, is 2/3. So I multiply each number by 2/3, and whatever I get is going to be my image point. So I do 2/3 times 3 and 2/3 times 5. What I get is my image point that B prime is 2 and 10/3, or 10/3. Now let's look at example C. Point C is the point 6, 2, and I have a scale factor of k equals 3. Is this a reduction or an enlargement? So let's think. Is 3 greater than 1 or is 3 less than 1? It's greater than 1. It's an enlargement. Now let's find the point C prime. So we're going to take each ordered pair, or each coordinate value, and multiply it by k. K is 3, so 3 times 6 and 3 times 2 is going to give me my new ordered pair for my image. Make sure you're multiplying both values each time by whatever the scale factor is. In this case, it was 3, so both values got multiplied by 3. When I do that, I get that C prime is 18.6. Now it's your turn. I want you to try the next two questions all on your own. So for triangle ABC with points A at 1, 2, B at 3, 2, and C at 2, 5, perform a dilation with K equals 4. Now pause the video and come back when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, I hope you tried. Now let's see what the answer is. Was this a reduction or an enlargement? What did you think? It is in fact an enlargement because 4 is greater than 1. Now what were our ordered pairs? Remember, for each ordered pair, we want to multiply both coordinates by 4. I get A prime is 4, 8, B prime is 12, 8, and C prime is 8, 20. Were you correct? If not, go back and check your work. Now I've got another question for you. For quadrilateral PQRS with points P at 5, -5, Q at 0, -5, R at 0, 0, and S at 6, -5, perform a dilation with K equals 1/5. Now pause the video and come back once you've had a chance to work on the question. Okay, I hope you're ready to check your answers. Let's see how you did. First, you needed to determine if it was a reduction or an enlargement. Remember, this means you look at the scale factor and determine if it's less than 1 or greater than 1. So what did you get for this question? You should have gotten that it was a reduction because 1/5 is less than 1. Now we need to see what our image points are going to be, and this time we'll have 4 of them. So P prime was the point 1, -1, Q prime was 0, -1, R prime was 0, 0, and S prime was 6/5 and -1. Did you get those correct? If not, go back and check your work. So now let's take a look at what we've learned in this lesson. We've learned that a dilation makes shapes bigger or smaller. A dilation makes similar figures. These are the same shape, but not the same size. The scale factor tells us how much the shape gets bigger or how much it gets smaller. An enlargement is what makes the shape bigger, and that's when K is greater than 1. A reduction is what makes the shape smaller, and that's when K is less than 1. And lastly, we've learned that to perform a dilation, I use the mapping formula of XY maps to KX and KY. What will you learn next?